Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to count down the top 10 solo games of 2021. I had a very strict and very scientific way of ranking these. How much did I enjoy playing them solo? I gave a little bit more points, if you will, if it was a solo only game or solo variant, actual solo variant versus like a cooperative game that I just prefer to play solo. Now, if it's on this list, I would prefer to play it solo rather than with other people. Sometimes I'll comment on that. I'll go into that and explain why I prefer that. Some of these are like cooperative games that could be played with more people, but I prefer them solo. So this is more like a list of solo games that I play solo, that I enjoy solo, and it's my list. So top 10, here we go. Number 10 is Dice Miner, and this is probably the weakest one on my list. If I was being fair, I probably broke my rule a little bit because I need another game that I've actually played in 2021 that played solo, and Dice Miner is it. It does play a little bit differently than the multiplayer, so I felt like it was fine putting on this list because that's a variant, and it's a quick filler type solo game. I would probably play this one when I'm watching a football game or something else, and I just want to fiddle with a game. That would keep my interest in kind of what's going on. So that'd be Dice Miner. Very nice approach here with the mountain, etc. But it's probably the weakest of this bunch. Is Masters of the Night. This is put out by Ares Games, a very cool like black and white motif of vampire games. And what's unique about this one is you play as the vampire and you want to stay hidden from the agents by also sucking blood. And you want to kind of clear the board of that and meet your goals for the game as you're going through. Not a lot really to keep track of. You can totally play this solo. It's nice, and it's a cooperative game, so it's nice to have somebody else's brain to kind of bounce off of. But as a solo game, you can definitely play 2 or 3 characters, not a lot to track here, and you'll have no problem doing that whatsoever and strategizing as you go on. I do like this one multiplayer also, but I think with something this simplistic, not saying the strategy is simplistic, but just tracking the different characters, very easy to play this one solo, multiple characters. Number 8 is Cuphead. Now, this one I have the least amount of plays with. I just got it for Christmas. Today's December 29th, and I'm recording this, so I haven't had a whole lot of time with it, but I do like the speed aspect of the solo game, and I did have a blast playing through that and trying to defeat the good guys. And it's very easy to set up and play this as a solo experience. The only thing you kind of get with the other one is that you have other people kind of doing their own thing. It's really multiplayer solitaire anyway. So I think this works very well as a solo game. There's a timer. You have to roll the dice instead of having 2 or 3 rolls like most of these Yahtzee clones. You have a timer how many times you can roll the dice. Then you're kind of stuck with what you have. I think that works perfectly fine. Just as just as easy as the continuous like 3 rolls. This one you just have a timer and it works beautifully. And it reminds me of the game because in the game you only have so much time and stuff, so it really brings that theme and time pressure into it. Cuphead is a very good solo experience for 2021. Number 7 is Micro Macro Full House. Now, I have kept off like clones like Zombicide and stuff like that. It's just another Zombicide. But I put this one in because I never played the first one. And it was very hard for me to obtain, so I didn't get it. So this is my first experience with it, so I got to talk about it sometime, and here we sit. Now, it's down a little bit lower because there's not a lot of replayability in this. Once you've done the mysteries, the rulebook tries to, you can watch your friends play it. That's not very much fun to me, so it's kind of like a play once, maybe play it again with the kids and let them dictate the experience. But for the most part, it's a play once. It kind of gets monotonous after a little bit of time, but I do like it as like a solo experience. I can take my time. I can go through it, go at my own speed. With the multiplayer, it's like, I found it here. Come look at it. Now I got to show you, and then we kind of go from there, when really it's just a solo experience, if you ask me. Number 6 is Immune. Once again, it's a cooperative game that can easily be played solo and has solo rules, so it's fair game for this list. In Immune, you are trying to heal the body and try not to let the sickness take over the body, and you're doing so in a fairly thematic way. There's some liberties taken with it to keep it a little bit abstract, but this is when it's just flown right under the radar. I don't know if anybody's heard about it that wasn't part of the Kickstarter, but Immune, if you're looking for a kind of a not heavy, but like a medium weight to light cooperative game that can be played solo, and you like the doctor aspect of it, then Immune is going to tickle your fancy, and one I can easily recommend. Number 5 is Mass Transit. Now, this is a little bit different than something like Immune, where it's a very light experience. You're playing cards down, a bit of hand management here, where you play the cards. You try to get everybody home from work, I guess, using the Mass Transit system. Sometimes the cards can kind of run out, and you kind of have to know the deck a little bit to get better at this and play. Yes, you can play it multiplayer, but really, it's a solo experience, and a fairly good one that you could add onto this list. Number 4 is Ugly Gryphon Inn. And this is a kind of a card tableau kind of game. We're going to have like heroes coming into your inn. You got to kind of serve their needs. Can't put certain people by themselves, etc. All these kind of like mind gymnastics that you're doing to get all the rules together so you don't have so many people kicked out or relieved that you would lose the game. And you need to make enough of them happy that you can be in an upbeat, positive atmosphere for them to enjoy their experience at their end. It's a little bit of luck in how the cards come out. But Ugly Gryphon Inn is one I do like as kind of like a time waster. Once again, I can play this, while I'm watching a football game or something during commercials, kind of take my moves or whatever with downtime, and it works brilliantly in that regard. If somebody that likes Solitaire, the card game, and maybe they're more interested in something a little bit more, Ugly Gryphon Inn is a very good choice. Number 3 is a tie. I got Alien Fate of Nostromo, which is a very good cooperative game. Once again, not a whole lot going on here with the players. You definitely play either just one character or you do 2 or 3, whatever you feel comfortable with. And it's really fun to kind of line everything up. And you don't need a whole lot of brains going on. It's a very simple game, kind of like Pandemic. Like, you don't need a whole lot of things going on with the board. Now, I tied this one with Gentle Rain. Gentle Rain is a light card game that I really, really like. Just kind of matching colors and patterns as you're overlaying the cards. I think it works brilliantly. Once again, that one's more of a time waster. Maybe, you got 5-10 minutes as people show up, or you just want to waste some time. If you're waiting on something to happen, Gentle Rain can actually be that. So Gentle Rain and Alien Fate of Nostromo would be my tie here. Number 2 is a little bit of a cheat, but it's going to be Descent. It's going to be 3rd edition Descent. And the reason why I like this game solo is I think with the campaign that's kind of forced onto you, it's very hard for me to get people together to do this. If you can, so be it. But there's a lot of downtime for each character in between the missions that you're going on that I feel like just kind of conforms it more to a solo experience. And the app takes care of most things. So you can easily take care of the 2, 3, or 4 characters at once. I don't think it's a huge problem. Maybe 2-player with a spouse works really good, whatever your style would be. But for me, this really works out a solo game. It's a big solo game that just kind of takes up the whole table, and you have a lot going on the app, and it kind of takes up a whole night. So a little bit different experience than something that I've spoken like Micro, or a Gentle Rain, or Dice Miner, that a little bit smaller. This one is a bigger one that could be that. Now, if you're looking for one that's kind of like this, but you want a little bit simpler, maybe lean towards Night of the Living Dead Zombicide, but I was trying to stay away from Zombicide because there's so many of them. It's not really a 2021 release except for that IP. But if you're looking for like Descent, but you want something easier, maybe go that route. Otherwise, stick with Descent 3rd edition. My number 1 solo game, which is one of my favorite games of 2021, is Final Girl. And I understand this is very similar to Hostage Negotiator, which I have but never played. So this was a brand new game for me, but one that I really, really, really like. And it is new. I mean, you have all the scenarios that go with it and kind of pop in and out. So while it is very similar to Hostage Negotiator, there are some rule changes. There's some differences to it. And the theme is just out of this world for me. I really like the theme that's going on here. So by far, this is the one I've spent the most time with. I keep going back to. I've done some playthroughs on the channel, and I'm just having a blast with. So if you're going to get one solo game, and you don't mind, it's probably a medium weight. There's some rule things going on here. It would be definitely Final Girl. It's been a blast for us to play with. So thanks for watching my top 10 solo games of 2021. I'm doing some other 2021 videos to try to show you what I liked this year. Hopefully, you'll comment below, like, and subscribe, and let me know what was your favorite solo experiences of 2021 games that were released in that year. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.